Welcome to the Set in Stone podcast.
Yes, episode 9/8, and
9/8.
And tonight's topic: does body count matter?
Does body count matter? You know, I think it does.
Yeah, because like if you're a serial killer and you're trying to be a good serial killer, then you're gonna have to kill a lot of people, and they're gonna judge you on how good you were at being a serial killer, even though that's bad, by how many people. Because body count, it means how many people you kill, not how many people you bang.
Nobody cares about a serial killer who only kills 2 people,
Yeah, that's like rookie numbers.
That's like just a random guy in Detroit, you know what I mean?
I myself have probably killed close to 1,000.
1,000?
Animals.
Animals. Damn.
Because I've killed a lot of bugs.
A lot of bugs.
I've killed mosquitoes, flies, bees, snails, potato bugs, roly-polies, people call them.
Yeah. You kill the roly-polies? Those things are a little sweet, and they go into like a ball when you pick them up because they don't want you to squish them.
Oh, I'm just kidding. I didn't eat any. But when I was a kid, I didn't care. When I was a kid, I was just like, bug, step. I've killed spiders. I've killed centipedes. I've killed cockroaches.
Yeah.
I've killed... Dude, I had gone my whole life. I had never seen a cockroach. My entire life until I worked downtown.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Worked downtown at this escape room, and in the workshop, they would come up out of the floor drain in the workshop. So sometimes you'd catch them, and they'd fall out of the vents of the AC.
Oh, God.
And it was so loud.
Oh.
You'd just be sitting there, and you'd hear... And you go, what makes that sound? And then some cockroaches like, ow, ow, ow.
Yeah, dude, I fucking hate cockroaches. There was one time I needed to put away the bird feeders at my grandma's, and it was nighttime. And there were cockroaches all over the shed when I opened it, and they just scattered and they hid.
They're an alarm.
And then I grabbed the bird feed and then closed the door, and they came back.
There's an alarming ugliness about them. They're ugly.
They are ugly.
They're completely harmless. They can't hurt you, but they're just something about them that's just like, ew.
They're ugly, and they're big, and they can hide well, and you can't get rid of them.
But it's interesting that some bugs are inherently repulsive.
Yeah.
Like, the only people who like cockroaches are like the people who study them.
Yeah, like scientifically.
Yeah,
like,
there's a word for that. That's some insect scientist. I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, there's a scientist for everything.
Yeah, but then like no one's afraid of ladybugs, right?
Nah, ladybugs are lit, dude. They got the red and black spots and shit.
Or like
they look cool.
Like most people aren't really afraid of ants, right? They don't find ants repulsive.
Actually, sometimes they're fucking annoying. Like in Texas, if they get into your house, dude, they'll keep getting into your house.
Right, but you don't, like, they're not gross.
They're not gross.
Like, you look at a cockroach and you can just go, ew. And the same thing with like centipedes. The only people who like centipedes are people who are, that's their hobby, is strange arthropods.
Yeah.
Not actually insects. Insects is a very specific type of creature, and a bug is a specific type of insect, actually. So people think of bugs as all of the arthropods, but they're actually not. Yeah. Like spiders are a certain kind of arthropod, but they're not insects. And then cockroaches are an insect, but they're not. I don't know if they're a bug. Bug is very specific. Like, I don't even know if a ladybug is technically a bug, but it is an insect. But then arachnids need 8 legs, insects need 6, and then I think insects need wings. I don't know. There's a bunch of crazy classifications in the taxonomy of them, but it's boring unless you like that stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, dude, I just put them all in a group as insects. Like, I don't really care. Like, there's so many like weird, strange names of all the different categories that would never stick in somebody's head unless they're doing that research.
Yep.
And so I just call all bug-looking things just bugs.
Yep.
And
that's what people do.
I kill most of them, unless if it's like a ladybug or a roly-poly, because I do have some heart.
See, so in a way,
left, you know.
In a way, we're both serial killers.
Yeah, dude, we're serial killers. We just pick and choose.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, we don't give a fuck about an anthill. We'll fucking kill the anthill if they get inside our house. We'll kill a fucking spider. right off the bat. So we're all serial killers at the end of the day.
Killed a lot of mice too.
Yeah, and mice. I have a hard time with mice.
I used to have this buddy.
Killing mice.
I had this buddy,
I don't know why.
and he had this disgusting house, right? They'd have like laundry all over the floor, and then they had this mouse problem. And what would happen is his mom would do a load of laundry, and then when she's taking the clothes out, she had washed mice.
Oh my God.
And they're just stuck in there, and they're trying to jump out, and they can't reach. And so I would take my shirt off and use it as a glove. And I'd reach in there and fiddle around, and then I'd get them, and you get them by the tail, and you throw them at the ground. Bah! They die instantly.
Oh,
yeah.
God. That's disgusting.
And one time, my buddy, he had this blackbird nesting in underneath his upper porch. He has a lower porch and upper porch.
Yeah.
And he made a nest in there. And one day, and it would yell at us when we'd go out to smoke.
Yeah.
Because we were by its nest. And then one day he got mad and he took a BB gun and he shot the mama bird. Bang!
Yeah.
And it flew away and never came back. And the babies were screaming for food. And I was like, you got to kill
That's fucked up.
Yeah. I said, you got to kill well, it's not fucked up because like it's a pest. I get it.
The bird?
Yeah, it's a pest. It's inhabiting their house, you know. It's a pest at that point. But I said, okay, we'll kill the babies now.
Yeah, because at that point, like
you got to put the babies out of their misery. And he wouldn't do it. He's like, no, I can't do that. I was like, you got to finish the job. He wouldn't do it, so I had to do it.
I feel like in that case, I would wait like a day just in case the mama comes back. But let's say after like a day or two and the mama doesn't come back, then I feel like you kind of have to, or else they'll just starve to death.
Yeah, and that's the inhumane thing at that point.
Yeah, at that point,
the
that's
humane thing is. So I pulled him out and threw him at the ground just like the mice.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Little birds seeing the sky for the first time, like, whoa, just sitting in my hand. I'm like, sorry, little buddy. Smack. They die instantly, though. Yeah.
That's good.
Brutal. You got to be a man. Sometimes you got to man up. If you're going to fucking get rid of a pest, you got to get rid of the babies, too. Like, and then they had this feral cat that was coming around.
Yeah.
And it was attacking a Yorkshire Terrier dog. It's a big cat, little dog.
Yeah.
That dog can't win that fight. And the dog wouldn't go outside to poop anymore because the cat would attack him every time they did.
No.
And none of them would do anything about it. And they knew I would, so they called me. So I killed the cat.
You killed the cat? Why not give it to the pound, though?
What are they going to do?
Put it in a shelter, not kill the cat?
No, they're going to kill it because it's feral. It was a beast.
Really?
It couldn't, it was an evil, vile monster. It was like Catzilla from Mouse Hunt. So, yeah. So they knew I'd do it. They knew I'd man up. So I killed that cat.
Fuck, man.
And then everyone thinks when I say that, they imagine a cute little kitty. It was not. It was a giant behemoth beast that was attacking their dog, which at that point is a pest, and you're allowed to eliminate pests.
Wow.
Even like falcons and stuff. If you have like chickens and a falcon is killing your chickens, you're allowed to kill the falcon. Even though you can't just kill a falcon, you can't even get a license to kill a falcon.
Yeah.
But if it's a pest, it suddenly becomes you can eliminate
the legality of it.
Yeah, I don't know if the legality is you can kill it or if you have to hire an exterminator to do it, but it is legal to get rid of a pest no matter what animal it is.
Damn. What if it was like the last species left on Earth and it's being a pest?
Technically, yeah, that whole last species thing is interesting because plenty of animals have gone extinct, and some animals honestly deserve to go extinct. Like pandas. Damn. Pandas are so stupid that they will eat all of the bamboo.
But they're so cute.
They are.
Oh,
they are.
They're so cute.
They are. And if people want to try to save them, that's fine. But I think they should just die because they're too stupid to live.
Damn.
They do. Do you know what they do? They eat all the bamboo where they live, so there's no food. And then they just sit there waiting for it to grow back, and it doesn't grow back, and they starve to death and die. If you're that fucking dumb, maybe it's time to go extinct.
Wow.
Yeah. And some animals, I'm really glad the dinosaurs are extinct.
Yeah, because we benefit off of fossil fuels. Like, imagine if we didn't have fossil fuels.
Well, yeah, but also just imagine if, like right now we have to worry in Utah, we got bears and cougars and moose, but imagine if we had to deal with like Utah raptors. Do you know there's a Utah raptor specifically? It's the biggest one. Yeah, great. No.
Utah raptor?
It's huge. It's bigger than the Jurassic Park raptors.
What?
Yeah.
Are they actual dinosaurs?
Yeah, the Utah raptor.
No fucking way.
Yeah, I'll show you.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and it's if we still had
A
those,
real life raptor, like dinosaur that still exists.
well, no, it doesn't exist. I'm saying that there's a dinosaur named a Utah raptor. I'm saying if it did exist, that would suck.
Oh, it doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Oh, I
No.
thought you were saying it still exists, and I'm like, no way. Where can I find a dinosaur?
We're in Utah, by the way. That's why it matters. Utah raptor is found in Utah, so they named it Utah raptor.
Yeah, I think I heard about that in Boy Scouts at one time years ago.
So if we look at this here, so Jurassic Park actually got velociraptors wrong. So this first one at the top here is a velociraptor. That's how big they really are.
Okay.
And in Jurassic Park, they were bigger. So then this next size up here, we have the
Wow.
the Deinonychus.
Yeah.
Oops. The Deinonychus is...
You can just show me the whole thing.
All right. But then you have the Jurassic Park ones were the third size, which is an Achilobator.
Incubator.
Achilobator giganticus. Then you have
I love the names.
Austroraptor, but that bottom one is Utah raptor. Look at that.
Holy
beast.
shit. So we had the biggest fucking raptor.
Yeah,
That's kind of sick.
he's very big. Here's
That's
the chart
something that we
for
can,
you people.
I can edit it in.
I know, but maybe I can get a shot of it here. Look at that. That bottom one's the Utah raptor. He damn boy, he thick.
He thick. Well, that saves me time. I don't have to edit it in now. Thank you, Kev.
Yeah. Editing's not fun. It really isn't.
So we're all all humans are serial killers. We just pick and choose what to kill.
Yes.
Like we serial
here's an
kill.
artist representation of one. Oh, scary.
We serial kill cows and like chickens and stuff.
It's even worse because we breed them first.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We breed them to keep serial killing them.
That would be a great horror film.
Oh my God.
Where some crazy inbred Hills
Oh
Have
my
Eyes monsters breed humans to eat them.
You know what the PETA should do? They should make a movie where aliens control us and make us
Factory
breathe
farms.
with each other and then fucking kill us.
Except-
that would actually be a good movie for PETA to actually, make people vegan.
But they would only
know?
kill the fat ones, and then the ones who are strong, they would have like cockfights, but with people. They'd make us fight to the death.
Oh my God, PETA.
Yeah.
Listen to our podcast, dude. We got the movie for you to change the world.
And stop caring about the stupid pandas.
No, I got to care about pandas, dog.
He cares about pandas. I saw this video of a panda. So when they eat the bamboo, they break it on their head and they eat it. And I saw this one of a panda who was raised by humans. So the humans had to teach him to break it. For a panda, it's easy to break bamboo, but for humans, it's not. So when the human would break it, he'd make a face. He'd go, "Arr," and he'd turn his head because he's afraid of it snapping.
Yeah.
And so because the panda learned from the human, he would make that face even though it wasn't hard for him. It was adorable. So this panda would go, and then sometimes he'd forget, right? And so he'd break it, and he'd forget, and he'd start eating it. And then he'd remember it, and he'd go, it was so funny. But yeah, if people want to try to save animals, I get it. There are some animals I want to save too, but it's not the stupid ones. Like draft horses, for instance.
Draft horses.
Draft horses.
A specific kind of horse.
Yeah, well.
That you want to kill.
It's just, no, I don't want to kill them. I love horses. But horses survive on their own. They're not dumb. When they run out of food, they move.
Yeah.
That's how we have wild Mustangs here. But I actually love horses, and I know a lot about them. What's interesting about horses is the oldest horses, back before humans, were small. They were like dogs.
Yeah.
Right? And evolution, they started getting bigger. But in warfare, how we ride horses into battle and all that.
Yeah.
Well, originally horses weren't big enough to do that. So what we did was we made chariots. You look at ancient Egypt and ancient like Carthage and these empires. Horses weren't big enough to ride yet. So they would strap two or four of them to the front of a cart, and they'd pull the cart. But then humans were like, if we breed the big ones with the big ones, they'll make even bigger ones, and then we don't need so many to pull the chariots. We could just use one. But then eventually some maniac had the idea, I wonder if I can get on this horse. And it's way better to not have a chariot because chariots can't like go through trenches not that they had trenches, but they can't rocks will break the wheels off, and they were fragile back then, you know. So once they got big enough horses to ride, then they didn't need chariots anymore. And then what happened was armor started getting heavier, because they said, wow, this horse can carry me and some armor.
Yeah.
Or if we breed them bigger. They bred them bigger and bigger and bigger, until eventually you had some horses that the knights would ride into battle. Knights with the full armor and the 11-foot lance, they would ride them into battle. They were called war coursers and war chargers. And they were the biggest horse in the world at the time. But then guns were invented, and so horses became less common in battle until eventually they were phased out. We used them for a long time, though. In fact, the Afghani armies still use horses. But we kept breeding them bigger and bigger for farming purposes. Bigger horses can pull bigger plows and carry more goods to market or whatever. So they kept building it bigger and bigger, and that's where draft horses come into play. We call them draft horses here. In England, they call them heavy horses. So they're even bigger than what was rode in combat. And they get breeding them bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually you get like Clydesdales that Budweiser carts carry. They carry the Budweiser cart, and then even bigger, the Shire horse, which is the biggest horse in the world. Not only the biggest breed of horse in the world, but also the biggest horse on record was a Shire named Samson. But then what happened was the tractor came around. And so they stopped breeding draft horses. Why am I going to breed a big-ass horse who needs to eat more food than other horses when I have this tractor that I can use? Yeah. So draft horse numbers have been dwindling and dwindling until, in the last century or so, they started making draft horse preservation societies. And I honestly would love to have one. They're usually specific to the breed. They have Percherons and Clydesdales and Belgian Heavies and Suffolks and Shires and all that. And they'll have they specifically breed them just to keep them alive because they're cool. People ride them, and they do tractor pull competitions with them and stuff. But I think they're always breed specific. Like if I ever became a rich Bollywood actor and I had all this money, I would want to make a draft horse preservation society that deals with all the draft horse breeds. Because they still breed thoroughbreds for racing, and they still breed quarter horses for cowboy sports, rodeos and stuff. And they still breed Arabian horses for long distance racing. But the draft horses, they're just cool. I think they're the coolest. They're also the nicest horses. So
yeah, and that also brings into perspective that if we're not killing animals, we are enslaving them to do our bidding, whether that be racing or carrying a carriage, whatever. So
in India, elephants help build buildings.
No way.
Yeah,
that's sick.
Because they're nature's crane. Because you get up, they're taller than human, and they have their trunk, and they can lift really heavy stuff up to you. Here you go.
Yeah.
And so, but here's the thing that's interesting is a lot of the things, because you can't really enslave them because they're not sentient. You have to be sentient to be enslaved. And because they don't know what that means. They can't comprehend slavery. Human slaves can, because they're sentient.
I mean, our octopus is kind of sentient, but instead we enslave them at zoos by putting them in a box.
That is actually a very interesting topic. So they might be cephalopods, is what they are. Octopus and squid and mollusks, they're cephalopods. And they are exceedingly intelligent to the point where they very well might be sentient, but it's really hard to say because we can't communicate with them. But when it comes to animal slavery in general, another issue with calling it slavery is most animals actually enjoy the work that they do.
Well, how can we measure that?
You can tell when an animal's happy. When you come home...
I think most animals probably not, actually, because can you tell if a cow's happy?
Yeah. Because when they're angry, you can tell. They put their ears back. When they purr, they're happy. There are ways. Mostly mammals and birds. You can't really tell if a reptile's happy, but I mean, if he's not biting you, I guess he's content. But when it comes to dogs, easy. Horses, easy. Cats, easy. Birds get a little trickier, but mammals are, in general, you can tell when a mammal is happy. And for instance, if you take dogs, they race greyhounds, in like England and stuff.
Yeah.
They love it. They love it because the way they race them is they have a fake rabbit well, some places still use real rabbits, but they have this rope or a cable, and they put like a handkerchief on it, and the dogs react to it like a rabbit, and then they pull it really fast, and they chase it, and the one who gets closest wins, and they love it. In the same way that if your dog likes to play fetch, you can tell he likes to play fetch. A dog doesn't play fetch because he's making you happy. In fact, a lot of times dogs who play fetch are the most annoying dogs because they never stop bringing you the damn ball. You can tell when they're happy. Horses too, actually. Horses love playing. They have these giant toy balls that you can get for horses.
Yeah.
And they love them. It's hilarious.
And so, yeah, I guess with pets, that's kind of the gray area on whether they're enslaved or not, because, you know,
they're better off with humans.
I mean, technically on the food chain, actually, that's a good argument.
On everything. They're protected. They get shots. They have vets. They have friends. They have all the food they need. It's better for them. But when it comes to actual work, like hunting dogs, they love what they do. People get hunting dogs and they teach them to jump in the water and get the duck after they shoot it. They love that crap.
Yeah.
They're doing a job, but to them it's not a job. They love it. So slavery, not really. And then like when it comes to like the horses, the draft horses, they love pulling stuff. They have these competitions where they pull stuff, and you can see how excited the horse gets. Sometimes they get so excited to pull that they're pulling them back to hook them to the sled, and they'll take off because they think they got hooked up. And they have very well documented features. Cats, dogs, and horses all have facial expressions and ear positioning and face positioning and body positioning that are very well documented as to what mood they're in at the time.
Yeah.
And so you can tell, and here's the thing, if a draft horse didn't want to pull the load, they'd kick your head off. Like, they don't. These guys are right behind them, right where they can get kicked, and the horses aren't kicking. So, slavery now. Because a human knows. You cannot force a human to work and they don't know that they're working. They know they're working and they know you're forcing them to do it. Because a human is sentient.
Yeah.
But the animals are not. Some of them get really close, like the cephalopods, some birds, bonobos and chimpanzees. They get crazy. Chimpanzees are crazy. Have you read about that crap? They are crazy.
They're very intelligent. I think I saw something where a monkey beat Minecraft. Like, they easily programmed it in a way where he could just touch on a screen to do basic shit. It wasn't actual Minecraft.
It wouldn't be a monkey, though. They're not smart enough. A chimp.
Yeah, it was probably a chimp, yeah.
Because monkeys, so there's apes and monkeys have the tails. Apes do not have tails. Then you have the lesser apes, which are gibbons, and the great apes, which are chimpanzees, orangutans, bonobos, gorillas, and humans.
Huh.
And of those, the chimpanzees and the bonobos are the most intelligent and the most closely related to humans with DNA. And those get crazy. There's a great video I saw of a chimpanzee whose baby was sick. And so they took the chimpanzee out, and then they took the baby out, and they gave the baby whatever treatment it needed, and they saved the baby's life.
Yeah.
And then they put the baby back in the blanket, and then they let the mom back in, and the mom thought the baby was dead. And she was sitting there despondent. Like human-like levels. She was sitting there despondent. Like, my life is over. My baby's dead. There's nothing for me. And then she saw the baby's arms. And she immediately, it's like she was crying. Immediately she saw the baby's arms move, and she so fast rushed over and picked the baby up and cradled it. And the expression was like, I can't believe it. It's crazy. Which is, so to your point with the slavery thing, it does get interesting because if I have a cat, some cats just are loners. Mm-hmm. They'll eat their food and they'll go hide and their life is fine, right?
Yeah. You
don't have to like socialize with a cat if they don't want to socialize and they're fine. You don't have to socialize with them. Some cats are needy, but when it comes to a dog, they need more attention, sure. But what's interesting is once you start getting into like monkey territory, if you have a pet monkey,
monkey.
Yeah, I like saying monkey.
Monkey.
if you have a pet monkey, his thoughts are so advanced that you actually have to consider his emotions, because his emotions are more complex.
Yeah.
Like monkeys can get jealous and stuff, you know, and like you have to like you socialize with the monkey, right?
Yeah, you do.
Like if you're doing something, the monkey needs to do it too.
Yeah.
Like with a monkey is the type of pet where you can't just give him his food. It's the type of pet that you need at the table with you.
Yeah.
You say, get up on the table, monkey, and he'll understand what you're talking about. He'll jump up on the table, and then you can give him his food on a plate and be like, here's your food, monkey. And then you're eating socially with your monkey, and he's happy about that. That matters to the monkey because they're smart enough. So at that point, it starts getting into the iffy zone that you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, if you're treating the monkey like trash, because monkeys, it's almost like they feel like they're humans when they're with humans. It's like they can recognize us, you know, like you can put clothes on them and stuff and they love it, and they'll put clothes on too. And so things like that. And they won't understand what you're saying when it comes to like most conversations, but they're going to understand more than a dog will.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could teach, like if you're a monkey eating food and you're like, that's good shit, huh? Good shit. And that monkey can actually respond and be like, yeah, I agree, good shit. And he'll learn what good shit means.
Yeah, he will.
And then you could be like, hey monkey, good shit? And he's gonna be like, oh, that means food. You know, things like that. Dogs can do that to an extent, but monkeys they're primates. It's way more.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does, like, you can make a dog upset. Like a dog knows when it's in trouble, and it's hilarious. Like sometimes you come home and your dog will have forgotten that he chewed up your boxing gloves, which happened to me. And he comes home and he's so excited, and you come home, he's like, yeah, that guy is back. The guy is back, yay. And you're like, yeah, zip, up, 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 up. And then you go in your room, and he comes running in your room like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then he sees the boxing gloves, and they immediately go, I'm going to leave for a minute. Oh, crap, I completely forgot. And then they leave, and then you're like, what did you do? And most dogs, like some dogs, you got to, when you're training them, some dogs are maniacs, and you got to discipline them. But then you get these dogs where just words are enough, and you just show them. You're like, you don't even have to say anything. You show them, and you look at them, and they're like, I know. And they'll leave. Then you're just going about your day, and eventually they'll come peeking around the corner like, hey, am I still in trouble? You're like, nah, come here. They're like, oh, good. So that's just a dog. Imagine a monkey. Imagine you came home and the monkey tore open a bag of Doritos.
Yeah.
And you're like, you piece of crap. You could easily make that monkey like borderline suicidal, I bet.
Oh my God, you probably could.
Like you could, because
that's crazy to think about.
If you're like, no, fuck you, monkey. Fuck you. You're a bad, stupid monkey.
Yeah.
That's going to affect a monkey more because they're primates.
Yeah.
And then that's the type of thing where you would have to console the monkey. Like, I don't think a dog can really get depressed, so to speak. Like, they can become really sad, but I don't think they're cognitive enough to really be depressed. Close, but not quite. But a monkey, I think you could drive a monkey to suicide. I think you could drive a monkey to the point where he's like, I want to shuffle off this mortal coil.
Yeah.
Like, especially, what if you had two monkeys and you treated one like he's your best friend and one like he was a sack of shit all the time? Like, what if you're like, here's some food, and the monkey jumps up on the table to eat the food, and the other monkey jumps up, and you just push him off like, fuck you, monkey. He's going to be like, that's not fair. He's going to understand that. He's going to be like, that's not fair. He's a monkey too.
Yeah.
And he gets to be on the table and eat food, and I don't. What's wrong with, like, and that's just with monkeys. With chimps, definitely. Chimps get crazy. Chimps get crazy. Like they bite each other's nuts off and shit.
Yeah.
Wait,
what?
Yeah.
They bite each other's nuts off?
Yeah. So like if you have
That's wild, dude.
Yeah. So like if you have the dominant chimp, the alpha chimp.
Fucking what? That's insane.
Yeah. Let's say you have this alpha chimp and he's being a tyrant. Right? Let's say this alpha chimp is going around smacking other chimps and taking their food.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, fuck you. That's my food. The other chimps are going to communicate with each other and be like, my food, you took it. And then they're going to be like, me too. And they're like,
holy shit.
And then they'll realize, they're like, there are 5 of us and 1 of him.
Let's bite his nuts off.
That's what they do. One will hold each arm and one will hold each leg and the other one will bite his fucking nuts off.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Just biting nuts, dude.
Yeah. And have you seen their teeth? It would not be hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
that would hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Like as a man, I'm like, oh.
And it's so brutal. Like it's like we think humans are brutal because we shoot each other, and it's like I'll take a bullet.
Yeah.
You shoot me. Don't bite my nuts.
Yeah. Don't bite my nuts, dude. Don't bite my nuts.
No one in the world would be like, well, we're gonna put you to death. How do you want to go? I'm like, nut biting?
Nut biting?
No, they'd be like, firing squad, please, lethal injection, please, something like that.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, which is interesting. Even humans, like, check this out. We have horrible, horrible tortures. Some are worse than nut biting, right? But modern humans, for the most part, have tried to find more humane ways of torture.
Mm-hmm.
Like waterboarding, for instance. Waterboarding, if I had to
It's
choose...
inhumane. Come on, you're drowning.
I understand that. But of all the tortures, if I had to pick one, it would be waterboarding.
Really?
What would you pick?
Torture.
You want to be hung up to the rack where they stretch you out? Do you want them to break your fingers, peel your fingernails off? They want you to put something in your butt?
Oh, shit.
They want you to put your nuts in a vice, put your head in a vice?
Oh, my God. You're right. I probably would pick waterboarding.
Yeah, it sucks in the moment, but as soon as you tell them what you want, they'll either kill you or let you go.
Because you can't just get a bullet to the head. You're losing like a fucking limb. You're using... Yeah.
Like even just when it comes
And
to...
if you're not going to snitch, you're going to die anyways. So the waterboarding probably... I don't know if it would be less painful, but it would definitely be quicker than if they're like one finger at a time or one toe at a time. And then after the toes, your fucking legs, and then your fucking nose, your fucking eyeball.
Like, I'd take waterboarding.
Yeah.
And it's, that's crazy. Like, but you know, but then it's funny because, yeah, human beings are capable of evil, but you know what? Nature is capable of evil too.
Yeah.
Do you know what hyenas do?
What do hyenas do?
Let me tell you about lions first. Lions are one of the most humane predators in the world. Because what lions will do is they'll chase after you, right? Not a human, but they're like let's say you're a wildebeest. The lion will chase you down and they'll jump on you and they'll bite you and they'll claw you till you fall down.
Yeah.
But once you fall down, they suffocate you. They put their mouth over the wildebeest's mouth. So the wildebeest can't breathe. And they wait till the wildebeest suffocates before they eat him.
Ooh.
Which is surprisingly humane, because what other animal does that? I guess boa constrictors suffocate you. But so a lion will do that. You know what a hyena does?
What does a hyena do?
Hyenas all jump on you and bite you until you fall down. They also have one of the hardest...
Oh, and they eat you alive, huh?
But do you know how?
How?
They start with your butthole.
Oh my God.
They bite your butthole out, and then they stick their whole head in the wildebeest's butthole, and they pull his guts out of his butthole.
They literally eat their ass.
Yeah, they pull their guts out of their butthole while they're still alive.
So hyenas love eating ass.
Yeah, they, literally, yes. But,
oh my
to
God.
be disemboweled through your ass while you're alive?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Be horrible.
Yeah. Like, so hyenas, no.
Fuck that.
And they laugh at you the whole time. So like nature is capable. One of the most brutal things I've ever seen. I've never had this much sympathy for an insect, right? This guy had his ant colony.
Yeah.
And you got to feed your ant colony, of course. I get it. He puts a cockroach in there.
Mm-hmm.
They swarm the cockroach. They're eating this cockroach alive. The cockroach was pregnant. And in desperation, the cockroach starts pushing the egg sac out, right? But the egg sac is filled with soft, juicy larvae. And so as it craps its egg sac out, the ants leave the cockroach alone and devour the unborn babies of the cockroach.
They abort the baby.
It was insect abortion. It was crazy. Like,
that's insane.
And I felt bad. I've never felt bad for a cockroach before, but I was watching that video and I was like, I don't know, something about that pregnant cockroach makes it worse.
An unconsented abortion of a child. Holy shit.
It's all very heavy metal though. There's a whole genre of metal called gore metal, which is about that nasty shit.
Yeah, that's insane.
And so, yeah, nature's brutal too. Parasites, diseases, horrible.
Yeah, so we're as humans, we're either enslaving them or serial killing animals, and then if we're not doing either of those things, then animals are just at constant war with each other all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like a duality of morality.
Yeah, which is fun to say. But here's the
I know,
here's
dude.
the cool thing.
Yeah.
For all of the crazy evils that humans are capable of, we are also capable of more good than any of them. Any of the animals.
Yes. Because we can make decisions.
And we have medicine, and we have donations and all that stuff. Like if an animal is dying, if a chimpanzee is sick,
Yeah.
can the chimpanzees help?
Hmm.
No, they don't know what sickness is. They don't understand. They just know something's wrong. But a human being can come in, tranquilize the chimp, come back, give it surgery or medicine or whatever it needs, release it back out in the wild, and then the chimps are like, they're good now. All hail the humans. Like, humans are capable, and humans are obviously just with humans. Like, yeah, we've had horrible wars. We have murderers. We have rapists. We have all these horrible things, but we also have doctors and scientists and police officers and firefighters and churches that donate food and clothing to people in need. Like, so I think that we balance out. Yeah, we're capable of some of the most hideous evils in the world.
Yeah.
Made more hideous by the fact that we are sentient and we are conscious of our moralities and things like that. But at the same time, we also have all this amazing good stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think it balances out pretty well. And in the end, I think humans are just above neutral on the evil chart. I think we're just above, just a little bit in general, a little bit positive in the good section.
Yeah.
And then even when it comes to like the herbivores and stuff, like let's say I have a bunch of chickens.
Uh-huh.
Pet chickens are way happier than wild chickens, even though we eat them, because we protect them from the foxes and the eagles and jackals, coyotes, whatever.
Yeah.
We give them food, we give them shelter, we give them protection, and then we kill them and eat them. But at the same time, we're the most humane about it.
Mm-hmm.
They won't get eaten alive. We don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
We're one of the few animals in the world that are conscious of the relative humanity of killing something before you eat it. A lot of animals don't do that. Some do, again, like the lions, but at the same time, do I want to get suffocated by a lion or just shot in the dome?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, yeah, humans suck in a lot of ways, but I still think that we're the best.
Yeah, the duality of Earth, nature, and humans, and how they impact everything.
Mm-hmm.
Life's trippy, man.
And even when it comes to other life that's not animal, right? Like plant life,
Mm-hmm.
a whole damn lot of the plants in the world are there because humans planted them. When it comes to crops or flowers or even forests, like, it's funny because we'll cut down a forest and people think, oh, that's horrible, you cut down the trees. Well, they plant more.
Yeah, they have to plant more in order to keep the industry alive.
Yeah.
Because if we just cut down all the trees, then we'd have no trees.
Yeah. Like, and so, and this valley actually in Utah, so we have this valley behind us with all these lights.
Yeah.
You can see some of the trees maybe, but in the daytime, it's mostly green.
This
is a desert, okay, people? This is a desert. And when the Mormons got here, it was just desert. And now there are thousands of trees across the entire valley that were put there by humans. No other animal in the world plants trees. I mean, some animals will like eat a seed and poop it out, and that will plant a tree, but they don't know what they're doing. But we are the only animals that understand how the life of plants work and therefore make them.
That's crazy.
So even when it comes to other life, plant life, or like even fungus, like penicillin, I think is a fungus, and we make that and use it as medicine. And there's a lot of crazy stuff like that. And so like, I think humans are good. I think humans are wonderful. I think we do more good than harm. Even like hunters, people get mad at hunters, like, oh, they go out there and they kill the animals. Well, there are a lot of rules about it that people don't understand. And the authorities that govern the hunting rules in all these states, they keep track of populations. And if humans didn't hunt them, then the populations would get out of hand and they'd end up not having enough food and they'd get disease, they'd starve, all this stuff would happen.
Yeah.
And so there's a certain, and they call it sport, and a lot of people say, that's messed up, how can it be sport? There are sporting elements. Sport does not have to be humane. It doesn't. The gladiatorial games were not humane, but it was sport. And so in the same way, hunting, like deer are, the deer are always overpopulated, so we can always get deer tags to hunt the deer. But when it comes to elk or moose or whatever, bears, bighorn sheep, whatever, they're carefully counted and numbered, and they know exactly how many of them need to die. Mm-hmm. So you put in for a lottery, they call it putting in. Say, I put in for an elk this year. So your name goes into the lottery, and only a certain amount of people, maybe 1,000 guys want an elk, and maybe only 100 of them get it.
Yeah.
And it's completely random. Some people put in their whole lives, never get one.
That's crazy.
So the sporting element comes into play like this, and it's actually very honorable. It's very cool. What happens is, let's say I won the lottery and I got my elk tag. Now that means I'm allowed to hunt one elk, and I'm pretty sure it has to be a male elk. I don't think you're allowed to get the women or the females. I don't know. I am not a hunter myself. This is just what I've heard. So if I am wrong about this, and anyone's watching who's a hunter, feel free to correct in the comments. But when it comes to, so let's say I put in, I got it, and now I have my elk tag.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing: elk season is a certain amount of time. Now let's say I'm searching and searching and searching, and the elk season's almost over, and I still haven't found one. And I'm like, where are you hiding? Okay. And then let's say I finally find one. And I'm like, there he is. And I get my rifle, and I take my shot, bang, and I miss. And the elk runs away, and I chase the elk, but he eludes me, and I never find him again. And the season ends, and I didn't get my elk. My tag is now done. That's the sporting element. The elk won the game.
The elk won the game.
And then,
wow.
So that's what makes it a sport. I can't save my tag for next year. I can put in again, probably not going to get one.
Yeah.
So there is a sporting element. When it comes to ducks, for instance, I think when you're shooting ducks, you can only have 3 shotgun shells in your shotgun at a time, because that's how they've determined the population, is that when you have more than 3 shotgun shells, people get too many ducks. And so the park rangers can actually come around and check your shotgun. Be like, you're hunting ducks? May I see your gun, please? And if they count more than 3 shells in there, you get a ticket.
Damn.
Yeah.
Cooked.
And things like that, which is why in the game Duck Hunt, you only get 3 shots.
Holy shit. That is crazy.
Because what if someone goes out there with an AA-12 with a 20-round drum magazine?
Yeah.
They're like, there are the ducks, bah, 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 and they get all the ducks. Well, that's not fair. That's not sporting.
Yeah.
Things like that. So, and hunters actually love these animals more than a lot of these hippies do, because like they'll have artwork on their walls of deer. I've never been to a PETA person's house where they have deer on the wall, or a vegan who has deer on the wall. No, who have the deer pictures are the hunters.
Yeah.
Because they understand the honor of the combat. They understand the sport of it.
Yeah.
And that applies to humans against humans as well. There's a certain honor that goes into certain combat that's very, very respectful, even though in the end it's still killing and it's still hideous. But take, for instance, warriors of the past. You know, in ancient times, they would say the generals would meet, you know, they would send their envoys, and their envoy would say, this plain outside of this city is a place where my general wants to do battle. Do you accept? And they say, yeah. What day? And they say, we're going to do Saturday. And they say, okay, what time? Dawn. Tell your general I accept. Then they go back and they say, he says yes. And so the armies will meet.
Wow.
And they'll meet there and they'll get ready to fight. And sometimes they wouldn't fight. So let's say the army who agreed to it, sometimes what would happen is he would ride out into the middle. The other guy would ride out in the middle. No shooting, no charging. And the generals would meet in the middle. And then this general says, I have an offer for you. And he says, what's your offer? And he says, my champion against your champion. Whoever wins the battle, and we don't have to lose troops. And then you might go, okay, I agree. And then the champions would fight to the death, and then only one guy dies in the whole battle that way.
Yeah.
That's a level of honor. It's still crazy and it's still killing, but there's honor about it.
Yeah.
In World War II...
I prefer that over our current warfare.
Yeah. How cool would that be if that's how things were solved?
Yeah, a lot simpler. 2
volunteers. Some guy says, I'll fight him. And some other guy in their army says, I'll fight him. And then say, okay. And then they have this area, like that mountain range. You guys have at it, keep in radio contact. Let me know when you get the other one, whatever. That'd be really cool. It'll never happen, but so, and there are cases in war of honor as well. In World War II, during the Battle of Britain, which was an aerial battle, there were moments where guys would purposely not shoot each other down. Like there was a moment, I don't remember which side started. There was a British pilot and a German pilot, and they got in a dogfight. They're flying their planes, they're shooting at each other. I don't remember who started it, so we'll just say the British guy. So the British guy was shooting the German guy, and he noticed that the German's plane was real messed up. And the German started just flying straight. And he got on his tail, and he realized he wasn't even trying to move, because he was probably trying to keep his plane just in the sky.
Yeah.
So he pulled up next to him in the sky, and he waved at him. He said, "You know I won." And he waved back like, "You won." He let him fly back. And the German was so moved. It might have been the German who started. I don't remember. But he was so moved that same thing happened to him. He got a new plane. He got in the sky. He started fighting a British guy. He shot his plane to the point where the guy couldn't really maneuver. And he flew up next to the British guy, and he waved at him like, "You know I won." And he was like, "You won." And he let him go. So there is still honor in that regard.
I love that.
Yeah, it's cool. But then on the Eastern Front against the Russians, there was a lot less.
Yeah.
But
Beautiful.
and that's actually in my religion, in Sikhism, we're really, really militant, right? We believe in warriors and weapons and all that stuff, but only defensively. And we have rules. There are Sikh rules to war. And a very interesting rule is you're not allowed to take prisoners. You can take their weapons.
Yeah.
Like if you want to fight, if they surrender, take their weapons and say, "Okay, go away." That's some serious honor. You're allowing them to go get more weapons and live to fight another day.
Yeah.
But not now. The fight's over. You lost. You surrendered. Good game. Go.
Yeah.
Give me your sword first. Go.
Yeah.
And that's pretty rare these days, unfortunately. Also, the people like to tell the bad stories all the time, but they don't like to tell the good stories. They like to tell stories about, and then they sacked the town, or they sacked the city, and they went and they raped everybody and pillaged everyone. And I'm like, yeah, but they didn't always.
Yeah.
Sometimes they didn't. Sometimes they just went in and they won, and they were like, "We won. This city belongs to us. You're paying us taxes now." Sometimes that happened. They don't like to talk about that. People just, they like the bad stories.
Yeah.
And it's too bad. But in general, like, honor is a very beautiful thing, because you can take that honor into your normal life. You can take that same mentality. Like say you and your buddy get into a fight. Instead of being a bitch when you know you're wrong, because a lot of people will keep fighting even when they know they're wrong, even when they've obviously been beaten in the argument. And I get it. It's hard. It's hard to stop fighting. But you can do it. And if you do it, it actually makes things better in the end. Even if you do it angrily, if you're like, "No, this is fucking, no, because," and you get mad about it, you could be like, "Fuck. All right. I'm just gonna go home. Whatever. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
That's a healthy thing to do.
I don't fucking know. I'm going home." And then you come back and you say, "Good game, you won." You're going to build so much respect.
Yes.
Because that doesn't happen.
Never happens nowadays.
Yeah. And it actually, it's such a relief to admit you're wrong when you're wrong. It's such a relief.
Oh, yeah, dude, because then...
I wish people would try it. It's hard, but as soon as you do it, if you're like, "No, well," and you're like, "No, come on," and you're looking and you go, if you can just muster up enough manliness to go,
"You were right.
You're right. I concede." Then as soon as you say that, it's like, zen.
It is zen.
And then you realize, why was I arguing so hard? That was stupid.
Exactly.
And then if your friend has honor, he'll be like, "It's okay, I forgive you.
Yeah.
Let's go play Arma."
Let's go play Arma. Wow.
That's actually a beautiful thing too. A lot of people, they get mad at things. They say, I saw a meme the other day. It was a post about, it showed a face with a look of disbelief, a cartoon face, a look of disbelief, and it says, "World War II veterans when they watch us playing a video game about the worst day of their life." And it's interesting. At face value, you might go, "Yeah, that is kind of messed up." But no, military enthusiasts don't love death and war. And for us, like, for me, I don't know about us, but for me, when I play historical games with historical battles in them, it kind of makes, because I have this tremendous guilt that I have not laid my life on the line like those guys did. They laid their life on the line, and a lot of them paid the ultimate price. I haven't. I might not ever do that.
Yeah.
And so for me, in a way, when I play those games, it allows me to appreciate them even more. And I feel like I'm honoring them. I feel like by putting myself in their shoes in a virtual space, it allows me to appreciate what they did even more.
Yeah, and it kind of puts you into perspective what they were dealing with and how hard it is. Because once you start playing like Call of Duty or something, you're dog shit. You have less than 1 KD. Like,
yeah, and
you can respect how tough war is by playing more video games because
historical ones, yeah.
And you only get 1 life. It's not like the video games.
That's the other thing too, yeah. And
only get 1.
And it's interesting too because like in my religion we believe weapons are holy and given to us by God to defend against evil. And so what's really interesting to me is you'll have these videos of like Vietnam veterans.
Yeah.
And someone will have a machine gun range. And maybe some guy in Vietnam was the dude with the M60, right?
Yeah.
And they'll bring them by and they're like, would you like to shoot an M60 again? And they're always like, really? And they don't charge them because they serve this country.
Yeah.
And they bring them by and the joy on their face from the weapon itself, not from the killing, because they get to now shoot the weapon and not kill.
Yeah.
And they're so happy. It brings them back. And they're like, and they're like, oh, I miss this thing.
Yeah.
To be in a completely safe setting where they get to actually enjoy the magnificence of the weapon with no threat to anybody. And it's a beautiful moment. And
it's beautiful.
And I think that personally for me, because weapons aren't inherently evil. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Especially because anything can be a weapon. They call it improvised weapons.
Yeah.
And so it's not weapons that are evil. It's killing people. Well, not even killing people, but murdering people, because there is a difference. If someone is trying to kill you and you kill them, you didn't murder them. You killed them. Different. Sometimes killing is justified. If someone's attacking you or attacking a child or attacking anyone and you jump in and they die, you killed them, but you didn't murder them.
Yeah.
And so there is a difference. But people don't understand. Like, look at axe throwing places. For a while, there was this big fad. Axe throwing places were popping up everywhere where a bunch of people could go and take deadly weapons and throw them and have a great time.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. There's fun in that. And I mean, look at cars. Cars are beautiful and kill people all the time.
Yeah.
And people get that. They love cars. They love driving. They don't want to kill people with their cars, but it happens. It doesn't make cars evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And even a lot of things that are weapons are also tools for other things. An axe doesn't just kill people, it also cuts wood. A knife doesn't just kill people, it also cuts meat or bread.
Yeah.
You know, a gun doesn't just kill people. They use guns for a lot of stuff. Like they have, like in the Jurassic Park movie where they put the shotgun shell in the thing that shoots into the ground and then it allows them to measure what's in the ground based off of vibrations and stuff. Well, they're shooting a gun. It's a gun that shoots into the ground.
Yeah. These are all tools that, you can use to either create something or destroy something. And that's for every tool that exists.
Yes. But then you have people who go, guns aren't weapons, they're tools. The subset of tool that they are is weapon, unless it's specifically designed.
Well, the gun can technically be classified as a tool that helps in self-defense.
It is a tool, but the subset is weapon. They say it's not a weapon.
It's a tool that's a weapon.
Right. Well, that's what a subset is. Yeah. It's a subset. Like what is this? What is a cigarette? It is a subset of tobacco. Right? There are different kinds of tobacco. Yeah. Is this chewing tobacco? No. They're all tobacco, but the subset here is cigarette.
You could choke on the cigarette and kill yourself.
That's something entirely different. My
point, or you can smoke it and enjoy it.
Right. But I'm talking about set and subset here. So the set is tool, subset, weapon. Mm-hmm. So some guys are like, guns aren't weapons. Yes, they are. Well, except for like flare guns or starting guns or guns that you shoot into the ground to measure for dinosaur bones. But most guns are weapons. And to say otherwise is a lie.
Yeah.
And God is truth.
God is truth.
And so. And that concludes our broadcast day.
Yes. Thank you for listening. We love to talk about topics that just are rabbit holes.
Yeah, rabbit holes. Rabbits don't deserve rights. We should enslave them. There we go. Back to square one. Enslave the rabbits and kill the pandas. But save the horses.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for the Set in Stone podcast. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you made it this far, you might as well. And we wish you a good night.
And smoking kills.
Yes. Do not smoke like us.
Yeah, bad
Thing.
influences.
Bad stuff. Bad. All right. Have a good night, everybody. It's 4 a.m. Probably. Good night.
Oh, yeah.